and more from them.
Thank you, Sora. That's awesome. Yeah. Cheers. So, thank you everybody for showing up and coming to my presentation. I will try to make this really quick. They give me like 15 minutes, so I'm going to run through a whole bunch of slides pretty quickly. Feel free to talk to me afterwards. But we are effectively an implementation of this Dell AI factory. And so we're taking Dell Technologies and deploying it as a cloud service offering. So our story is really actually the more interesting thing about this business. It's more than just AI. So I'm going to kind of cover these few points real quick. So who am I? I am been in this industry for a long time, much like all of you. I started very early on, started with the internet, started my first startup in '94, started with web development company. Anybody ever use Java on the server, right? So that's all kind of my fault. I'm sorry. I was one of the first people that kind of got the idea around that. Today, I think Bitcoin hit $94,000 or something, so I started mining it in 2013, Litecoin in 2017, and then more importantly was my last job, where I deployed 150,000 AMD GPUs across 7 data centers, many megawatts of power, got a lot of experience on doing HPC. Today, CEO of Hot Isle. So, started very simple with some Bitcoin, or these are basically Bitcoin ASICs, some of the first that were ever made by a company called HashFast. Did it in my garage, did all the power distribution myself, learned everything about 120 and 240 volt power by shocking myself, and it worked pretty well. Graduated, moved to Vietnam. I'm wearing an Ao Dai now, which is a Vietnamese traditional outfit, and yeah, did Litecoin mining there in these data centers, and then graduated to Ethereum mining, and this was 45-foot long shipping containers in the middle of Washington State. There's 16 of them, and that was 7 megawatts at that facility, and we grew that to 7 facilities. These are GPU miners with 12 AMD GPUs in them, RX 470 class, older stuff, but it worked really well. It was a really successful operation. My job was to run it all. I automated everything, learned everything about deploying all this compute, all through COVID, supply chain issues, everything, every challenge, we overcame it, and we were really successful at this. So we eventually graduated into real data centers instead of just shipping containers in the middle of a dusty field, and we designed and deployed even more compute. So that's how we got to 150,000 of these. And yeah, innovative like cooling at the time. So, like isolation, everything else. And then I built all the software to manage this. So this is kind of where my motivation comes from for doing Hot Isle, was that I deployed 20,000 AMD PS5 chips. And so there was a professor, Professor Gurov, who had done a Beowulf cluster back in the day. And so I reached out to him, and his Beowulf cluster was with PS3 chips. And I reached out to him, I was like, hey, I've got these PS5 chips, why don't we do something together and try to figure something else? And so we ran an experiment, and with the 20,000 PS5 chips, 1 year work in a month. Unfortunately, we were unable to find funding for the power for this, and it all got shut down, and it totally depressed me. I was like super bummed. I was like, at some point I want to build a supercomputer myself, and that's where that got me today. So that's Hot Isle, and we are 3 people today, very small company, very small startup. Our co-founder, my co-founder Clint, I worked with him at the previous company, and we did all of the networking and tech deployment ourselves. So yeah, this is our timeline. We started in January with a proof of concept with 1 box of 8 GPUs. And by September, we had deployed a whole cluster. So we started off in a Bitcoin mine, going back to my mining heritage. And so this is a mine in Western Kentucky. And we started with one box of Supermicro and some, support servers sitting on a shelf, as simple as possible. Power was super cheap. Heating, cooling, not a big deal. It was like as low level as you could get. But we learned a lot of lessons here. And the lesson we learned is that you really don't like dirty GPUs. So pollen gets into the GPUs and it turned into a whole mess. And these are very expensive GPUs. You do not want them looking like this. This is a bad thing. So we moved on from there and came up with this Dell Technologies partnership. Dell introduced us to AdviseX. And so we switched data centers. We went into switch.com, which is the premier data center in the entire United States. Went back, raised a bunch of money, added another employee, and worked with Dell really to design our next generation of hardware that we wanted to grow our business with. So this is a picture of our facility. It is this beautiful building in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the middle of nowhere. It is out of control. It's the best data center I've ever seen in my life. Jordan, sitting right here, helped us. He was there himself. And this is what it looks like today. So we went from my garage of, hand-done power to something actually really professional and very good looking. And thank you so much to Dell for, making this a reality. So we filled up a containment unit, and we've got it all networking, everything set up, and it looks good. So another picture, super secure, everything is just very professional. It's been a journey. This is the Dell 9864F, which is the 800G or 400G at 128 GPUs or 128 NICs. So we deployed a cluster of 16 servers, each one with 8 NICs in it, and we've got them all running at 400G. And I think it was about 15 kilometers worth of fiber optics for 4 racks. So it was a lot of fiber, it was a lot of effort. We did this in about 9 days, I think, total, start to finish. And thanks to the help of Dell and AdviseX, we made it happen. So I had to white out this picture because it's in their loading zone and they didn't want me showing the rest of the facility. So I kind of just cut out the background, but that's me on top of the 16 servers. And each one of these came in a box that is just this gorgeous Dell box, custom-made wooden box that actually, for eco reasons, Dell ships the box back and they reuse them. So other manufacturers, you just end up throwing away all the boxes, and Dell actually set a new bar here. And they're also super secure and super, they can't get harmed in shipping. So today, right now, we're in this conference. It's great. Everybody's doing awesome. AI is thriving, but there's one company that has dominated all of it. Anybody know? NVIDIA, right? Intel, yeah, NVIDIA, right? And so, does anybody see the problem with that? Or any issues with a single company controlling this transformative technology that we're gonna build the Internet 2.0 on? They're one single company. So in the US, imagine Apple went out of business years ago, or Internet Explorer 1 and we're stuck with one browser, or Cisco was the only router and the whole internet, we wouldn't have Sonic OS. Or Broadcom buys VMware. Oh wait, that happened. And then NVIDIA has supply chain issues. That was 6 months ago. So why are we depending on one company for everything? So this is actually why Hot Isle exists, is that we want to be a different voice in this ecosystem. It's not that there's anything bad with what NVIDIA has done. They've done a really amazing job. I congratulate them, but we need to have alternatives in the ecosystem. We can't just have one company control all of AI. So here's actual examples, right? A year ago, NVIDIA shortage, Broadcom jacking the prices of VMware up. And right now, today, we have Jensen saying demand is insane for the next generation. So in 6 months, what is everybody going to do when we can't get access to the latest and greatest and develop our applications on it? That's going to be a huge problem. So I think people will start to look for alternatives. And that's the place where we're at today, where right now we've got all of our eggs going into one basket, and people should actually start to think about spreading their eggs around, because otherwise we're going to be really stuck. This is actually an important topic that I think needs to be brought up. So, need for compute is endless. We're a Ferrari dealer, we're in the best data center, we have the best equipment, we have the Dell support contracts, they come out, anything breaks, it's fixed next business day. These are all the important things that people need to think about when in this like GPU as a service race where everybody is going to compete with H100s and they're all going to $1 each. Well, you know, you have to give up something for that. You're giving up your reliability and you're giving up your service. And these are your businesses that you're trying to build on top of this stuff. So you want to be able to build it on a rock. And that's what I'm trying to do with Hot Isle, is build that rock for people, that foundation, where anybody can run anything that they want. And there's a lot more freedom. So I'm basing all of this on 5 simple things, right? Honesty, transparency, ethics, and reliability. And this is at a core very important, because we cannot be making excuses. We cannot be making up numbers. We can't be making grandiose claims about who we are. We're a very small company today. We will grow over time. We're not trying to say that we have 20,000 GPUs. We have one cluster right now. And so as we onboard people, we will gain more and more market share, and we will go back to Dell, and it becomes a win-win partnership where we will just continue to buy more hardware, get more developers on us, and grow. So thank you. That's my probably 15 minutes. So yeah, thank you all.
Jon, that was really good. Let me point out one thing to you. While you're standing in the Dell booth, if you look right over there, you'll see it says Dell, Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD, showing you that there is choice here at Dell. So if you want to go with AMD, if you want to go with Intel, we want to give you that choice. So it's not just that single monopolistic play here at Dell. So we're here to work with you.
Yeah.
Can we get a round of applause for Jon?
Bravo.
Dell. Thank you. All right. Everyone's going to get a free gift from Dell. Give me a yay. Yay. I'm giving everybody a camera detector. So if you're in a dressing room or in a sleazy hotel here in Atlanta, you can look for these secret cameras that are in your room, and you know they are. So find it with this. Everyone's gonna get one of these by turning in that raffle ticket. But the raffle ticket is gonna help us win this Energizer battery. It's actually strong enough to plug your laptop in, so now you have laptop power. But before I give that away, you're also gonna receive this card. You're gonna like this card, Jon. I can tell already. You're a very green kind of person. So this isn't just a map to our mobile exhibit. You go to the mobile exhibit with this card, we're gonna give you one of these, a hockey puck that has every connector you're ever gonna need in computing. There's a SCSI port. I'm kidding, it's not. But this is also, after you get that hockey puck, you plant it. It's flowers. It's flower paper. Yeah. See, down here. Yeah, we can plant it there. Okay. So, lots of giveaways. As soon as we're done with the giveaway, you're gonna follow through this way to get your camera detector. For the Energizer battery, 947. 250. 250. Are you here? Bingo. 250 going once. Are you here? Yay! All right. Here we go. Folks, you want to come this way to get your camera detector, and as long as you're here, stick around. Cocktails are coming in just a moment.
Outstanding.